Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining. This is Brendan Ingram here, back with another live stream today. So, I'm going to be reviewing last night's NXT. Ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind that this is your May the 13th, 2020 NXT Results and Review full show. So before I get started, be sure you hit that like and subscribe button and turn on all notifications. Important. Again, turn on all bell for notifications. Important. Most important thing you could ever do when you're watching someone's channel, someone's YouTube channel. When you're watching someone's YouTube channel, it's always important to turn on the notifications so you won't miss what they do on their channel. But always turn on those notifications. It's important so you won't miss all my Friday Night Smackdown, Monday Night Raw, and NXT reviews on my channel. As you can see on my channel, I've made a few changes to the list. So I'm going to be making yet another few changes today. Yeah, I am going to be making other few changes. A few changes that I'm going to make to the list is I'm going to add my WWE NXT review list on there. I've added my WWE Monday Night Raw review list on there. Now I'm adding my WWE NXT review list on there. As I just said already. So, follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitch and subscribe to my YouTube channel, most importantly. So, ladies and gentlemen, I watched NXT. It was amazing. It was a great show as always. They always give us good shows. They always give us good matches on the show. The show was great. It was really great. Nothing bad occurred. Nothing out of the ordinary from NXT. But as far as the ratings go, NXT ratings are where they should be, should I say. Right now. They are. They really are. The NXT ratings are skyrocketing. They're going up. They haven't given a full update on the NXT ratings yet, but I'm pretty sure WWE will give us an update on how the NXT ratings are doing. I say they're doing quite fine. They're doing quite better than Monday Night Raw and Smackdown ratings. I can tell you that much. I think what will shed light to WWE is NXT. NXT is what will shed light to WWE's ratings and problems and problems of bad storylines and promos and matches. I think NXT, the NXT brand, is the only number one brand in sports entertainment, in my opinion. I just don't think Friday Night SmackDown and Raw are the number one brands in sports entertainment. I think NXT is. Because of how good they're doing with their shows and how they're setting it up. You know, how they're running those shows. I think the NXT Takeover in your house will be a great pay-per-view. It's going to be great. It's going to have good matches on there. Hopefully it'll be great. Hopefully it won't suck. I hope not. Just thought I'd put that out there. Hopefully this pay-per-view becomes really great. You gotta love all these video packages and all these footage and all these backstage interviews. Boy, these things are, you know, these voice packages and interviews, man, you gotta love them. NXT's doing good with these backstage interviews and video packages and matches they keep giving us. You know, and that NXT Interim Cruiserweight Tournament, they're doing good with that too. And I gotta tell you, I think NXT is right up there as it's right up there as the number one sports entertainment brand in history. It's the number one sports entertainment brand. It is. The number one WWE sports entertainment brand in history, I think it is. NXT should go right up there. Monday Night Raw, as far as Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, I don't think they're number one. I don't think they're the number one WWE brand in sports entertainment. I think NXT is. I just, the way Monday Night Raw and SmackDown are doing right now, I don't even have the words to even say what I think, how bad Monday Night Raw and SmackDown are doing. I could tell you right now, they're doing absolutely really bad. They're doing absolutely terrible with their shows. The only brand that's doing very, very good with their shows in the WWE is NXT. Raw and SmackDown, terrible. They're not doing good. The shows are sucking for 5 weeks. The shows have sucked 6 times now. This is the 6th time that they've given us a terrible Monday Night Raw and SmackDown shows. WWE's got to do more better with those shows, like I've been saying on my other live stream a few weeks back. They got to do better with the shows. They need to be having people asking them questions on what they could do to better Friday Night SmackDown and Raw, and to better the Friday Night SmackDown Raw ratings, and what matches they would like to see on there. You know, what storylines and feuds they would like to see, because ultimately that could shed light to the ratings as far as Friday Night SmackDown and Raw. But anyways, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started. So, the opening segment to tonight's NXT was a recap from the 2 championship matches, including Rhea Ripley's return, Dexter and Lumis's interference in the match, Velveteen Dream getting the visual pin on Adam Cole, which I thought it did say pain, but it said pin. That's the funny part about it. So yeah, getting the visual pin on Adam Cole, and Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher's response to Imperium. So, here is what happened with the match between NXT Tag Team Champions Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher versus Imperium, Fabian Aichner and Marcel Barthel for the NXT Tag Team Champions. Here's what happened with this NXT Tag Team Champions match last night. Here's what happened with the championship match. So, Marcel Barthel and Timothy Thatcher, trying to get it right, start the match. They tie up, and Thatcher has the upper hand on Barthel, working his left arm. Thatcher maintains the pressure on the arm until Marcel can reverse into a headlock on Thatcher. So then Thatcher reverses into a bow and arrow submission, but Marcel quickly escapes. Marcel gets a drop toe takedown with a ground and pound, but Thatcher rolls Barthel over and locks in an armbar. But Marcel reaches the ropes, forcing a break. Fabian Aichner tags in and takes Thatcher down. Marcel pulls Riddle off the apron, preventing Thatcher from getting the tag. Fabian Aichner hits a waistlock takedown on Thatcher, but Thatcher gets on Riddle, who has returned to the apron to make the tag. So then, Aichner went for a Samoan drop on Riddle, but Riddle reverses into a sleeper hold. He hits a gut-wrench suplex on Aichner, then Marcel tags in, and Riddle hits a suplex on him as well. Riddle goes for a Roton on Marcel, but Marcel rolls out of the way. Aichner tags in. He tags back in and hits a backbreaker on Riddle, covering him for 2. And we go to commercial. Back from commercial, and Fabian Aichner has the upper hand on Riddle. Riddle goes for the tag, but Aichner blocks him. Marcel Barthel tags in and grounds and pounds Matt Riddle. Then Fabian Aichner tags in, and Matt Riddle is able to fight off Aichner and Marcel's double team. Riddle goes for the block again, but Marcel tags in and blocks the tag attempt. Riddle hits a monkey flip on Marcel, sending him into Timothy Thatcher, knocking him off the apron. Thatcher looks at Riddle and says that he is done with Riddle. Thatcher walks away, leaving Riddle all alone against Imperium. Riddle looks utterly shocked. Imperium attacks Riddle from behind and go for the European bomb, but Riddle fights them off, hitting a brawl to sleep on Aichner. And a final flash on Marcel. However, the numbers game eventually catches up with Riddle, and Imperium hit the European bomb on Riddle, pinning Riddle for 3. So the Imperium are now, last night Imperium won the NXT Tag Team Champions. Well, congratulations to the Imperium on winning those titles, because they were worth it for them. So then, we was told last night that Tony Nese would take on Jake Atlas, and Isaiah Scott will take on Jack Gallagher later on that night. It said next they would show us a look at the NXT Women's Championship picture after the commercial. So back from commercial, and Timothy Thatcher was interviewed backstage, and he was upset about Matt Riddle's antic. He says he doesn't like the game shows and the bros. Matt Riddle confronts Timothy Thatcher, and they shove each other before getting into a bit of a brawl. Officials separate them, and they move on to the next match. Despite being told that we would take a special look at the NXT Women's Championship picture, they move on to another match. Which that next match, hang on. That next match was Tegan Nox versus Indy Hartwell. So here's what happened with the match between Tegan Nox and Indy Hartwell last night. So Nox and Hartwell trade some words, but Hartwell seems to have the strength advantage. Nox uses her speed, but it isn't enough to take down Hartwell. Nox tries to roll up Hartwell for a pin, but she blocks it. Yeah, Hartwell blocks the pin. In the corner, Hartwell stomps and kicks away at Tegan Nox. Nox tries to fight out of the corner and kicks Hartwell away, but she comes back with a forearm smash on Nox's back. Nox runs the ropes, but Hartwell hits Nox with a sidewalk slam, covering her for 2. Hartwell wipes Nox into the corner and runs at her, but Nox hits Hartwell with an elbow. Nox sends Hartwell to the apron, and Hartwell goes for some springboard of offense, but Nox catches her with a chokeslam. Nox hits Hartwell with an uppercut in the corner, then follows it up with a crossbody from the top rope. Finally, Nox hits a Shawnee's Wizard on Hartwell, covering her for the pinfall. I love how they had Tegan Nox winning over one of the Women Performance Center recruits Indy Hartwell. I love it. I hope they continue to put Tegan Mox in matches to have her win, so they can give her a push and potentially put her in a title picture for the NXT Women's Championship. Put her against whoever wins the NXT Women's Championship. So, anyways, after the match, we get a replay of Charlotte Flair and Io Shirai's match from last week, including Rhea Ripley's return and Io Shirai confronting Ripley backstage. So, we get a backstage interview from none other than the returning Rhea Ripley. So we got a backstage interview from the returning Rhea Ripley, as she talks about how she wanted her title back, and she's going to bring the title back to NXT and take it from Charlotte. Ripley says that she will go through Io Shirai if she has to, and the two of them are not done with each other. Ripley says that title that you have around your waist, it belongs to me. Then they go to commercial. So then back from commercial, Mr. Matt Riddle here, he talks to William Regal at a table. He says that Regal gave him a match against Thatcher tonight, and Timothy Thatcher jumps Riddle from behind, hitting him with a computer monitor. Thatcher walks out, saying, "See you tonight." So then, it was Tony Nese versus Jake Atlas. Tony Nese. This Tony Nese I'm talking about. That's the guy I'm talking about. So, that night, Beth Phoenix informed us that Tony Nese was officially out of the tournament, methodically, and Nese is only around to play spoiler now. Atlas is interviewed backstage by Byron Saxton about his match. Atlas says that he is nervous about facing a former Cruiserweight champion. And he also says that he hopes Drake Maverick beats Kushida, forcing a tie. Atlas locks in an armbar early, but Nese reverses out of it, hitting Atlas with a series of kicks. Atlas and Nese hit a series of reversals, but Nese hits Atlas in the eyes, getting the upper hand. Then he hits a dive out of the ring, snapping Atlas's neck on the top rope. So then Nese gets back in the ring and hits Atlas with a suplex, covering him for two. Nese transitions into a front chancery, but Atlas fights Nese off, getting to his feet and forcing a break. Atlas goes for a kick, but Nese catches it. Atlas returns, elbow strikes on Nese, then a pump kick. Atlas wraps up Nese with a German suplex, then hits a step-up enziguri, covering him for two. Nese hits Atlas with chops, then goes for a pump handle slam. Atlas escapes and hits a neckbreaker on Nese. Atlas goes to the top rope, but Nese catches him with a leaping uppercut, stopping him dead in his tracks. Nese lays in a series of chops, hanging Atlas precisely on the top rope. Nese mounts the corner and says and sends Atlas to the apron. Trying to get my words right today. Nice taunts Atlas, and Atlas uses the opportunity to knock Nice from the top rope. Atlas goes to the top rope, hitting the Rainbow DDT, covering Nice for 3. So the winner was Jake Atlas. So that match was amazing. It was not too bad. I mean, overall the match was really good. It was not too bad. I'm gonna tell you what was bad about the Jack Gallagher and Jake and not Jake Atlas, but I'm gonna tell you what was bad about the match between Jack Gallagher and Isaiah Swerve Scott. Excuse me. Oof. It's been a long day. I can tell you that much. Been a long day. But anyways, that match was amazing. Match was really amazing. It was competitive. You know, it makes you want to watch the tournament even more. Matches like that makes you want to watch the tournament. Matches like that also makes you want to watch all of the matches in the tournament. Like one in particular, Phantasma versus Isaiah Swerve Scott. That was a good match. That was a dream match right there. That would have been a dream. Phantasma versus Isaiah Scott would also be considered as a dream match. A feud for those two. A future feud in NXT. So, yeah. So after Jake Atlas's victory, they cut to a Zoom promo between Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole. O'Reilly reveals that he has been away shooting a movie. Bobby Fish joins the call, talking about how he misses them all. Roger Strong joins the call, and they just enjoy each other's company. O'Reilly says that they have been killing it on NXT television. You can't deny that. Undisputed Era has been dominating NXT for months and months. Cole says that he embarrassed Velveteen Dream. Roger Strong complains about Dexter Lumis, and everyone in the Era agrees that Roger Strong should take on Dexter Lumis. And then after they take him out, they will go back to running NXT. After the call, they go to commercial break. So then when they come back from commercial break, this is one of my favorite video packages of the show. This video package of the show that I'm about to tell you about was one of my favorite video packages of the show. Like, it literally was one of my favorite video packages of the show. It was. So, ladies and gentlemen, check this out. So, hang on a minute. So we got a video package from Karrion Kross. Well, Karrion Kross, excuse me, sorry. Like I said, still trying to get my words right today. We got a video package from Karrion Kross and Scarlett Bardiax. So, we see a reminder that of Cross taking out Ciampa. Cross says that Ciampa was the first, but he will not be the last. So then, after that, the former Universal Champion, former Intercontinental Champion, former NXT Champion, Finn Balor, was backstage. Balor staring directly into the camera. Cameron Grimes is shown warming up for his match backstage that night. So they cut to a video package of none other than Tegan Nox's former best friend, Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai and Rachel Gonzalez. So Dakota Kai and Rachel Gonzalez. Kai expresses why she turned on Nox and see a recap of the turn. Kai and Gonzalez talk about the bond they share about both of them being outcasts, and they plan on hurting a lot of people. So Isaiah Swerve Scott was backstage. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the guy with the swag, the guy that claims he has the swag, which he does have the swag. I don't know if he has the swag for the ladies or what, but or not. I think that's something Damian Priest and Velveteen Dream have. Personally. Anyways. As I was saying, Isaiah Swerve Scott was backstage talking about his upcoming match, as it is win or go home. Scott takes about how he was able to take out El Hijo del Fantasma. Scott says that he is going to beat Gallagher, then throws some shade at Tony Nese and potentially Jack Gallagher, saying if I couldn't get a single win the whole tournament, I'd probably quit wrestling altogether. We were told that night that we would see another promo from Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae from their dinner table, seemingly to be reminiscent of their promo from 2 weeks ago. However, up next, DX will be on NXT that night. DX was on NXT that night to help deliver William Regal's big announcement. Right after the commercial break. Blah. I don't know, it's the reason I can't talk right today. I don't know why. But it said DX will be on NXT to help deliver William Regal's big announcement right after the commercial break. So back from the commercial break, Triple H and Shawn Michaels talk about how, and yes, this does have something to do with, it does have something to do with this Triple H, and it also does have something to do with this Shawn Michaels. Yes, it does. Yes, it does, folks. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So Triple H and Shawn Michaels talk about how tomorrow marks the 25th anniversary of the very first In Your House special. And now a lot of people are spending time in their house. So on Sunday, June 7th, they said they will have an NXT Takeover in your house. So, the next match last night was Finn Balor, the Prince, Finn Balor, versus the Technical Savage, known as Cameron Grimes. Yep, Cameron Grimes, ladies and gentlemen. Along with the interference of Damian Priest. Folks. So here's what happened with this match. Last night between Finn Balor and Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes goes immediately for the cave-in, but Balor invades and goes right after Grimes, locking in a headlock. Grimes goes for an eye rake, but Balor keeps the headlock in. Grimes is able to reverse into a hammerlock, but Balor grounds Grimes and hits him with a PK. Balor whips Grimes into the corner. Then Grimes hits a wristlock takedown on Balor and lays into Balor's midsection. Grimes knocks at Balor's chest, then chokes him on the middle rope. Grimes hits a sunset flip on Balor, but Balor rolls through with a basement dropkick. Balor goes for a sling blade, but Grimes catches him and slams him down, covering him for 2. And they go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Grimes has Balor in a chinlock. Balor fights to his feet, but Grimes takes Balor down with a knee to the midsection, covering him for 2. Balor hits Grimes with some forearms, but Grimes takes Balor back down, tossing him hard into the turnbuckle. Grimes drives his shoulder into Balor's midsection, but Balor gets his feet up. Balor runs at Grimes, potentially going for another sling blade, but Grimes hits Balor with a clothesline, taking him down. Grimes trash talks Balor, but Balor takes Grimes down and hits a double stomp on Grimes. Balor stomps away at Grimes, but Grimes drags Balor out of the ring. Balor goes to the apron and stomps away at Grimes' head and face. Then hits a huge PK on Grimes from the apron. Damian Priest suddenly appears in the crowd arena. Balor takes out Priest, then focuses back on Grimes. Balor rolls Grimes back in the ring and gets to the apron. But while the ref is checking on Grimes, Priest hits Balor in the knee with the nightstick. Back in the ring, Grimes hits Balor with a cave-in, allowing Grimes to pick up the win. Let me remind you folks that the reason why Cameron Grimes won against Finn Balor was because of the help of Damian Priest. Thanks to Damian Priest, Cameron Grimes was able to pick up a huge victory over Finn Balor. One of his best wins in WWE, I guess one of his biggest matches, his biggest win in his career, should I say. The only reason why he won was because Damian Priest. I'm telling you, soon Damian Priest is going to want to be in a match with Cameron Grimes. He's going to want to beat the holy hell out of him. That's what I think is going to happen. And he's just going to confess and tell him the only reason why he's been winning is because of him. So, with Balor still in the ring, Damian Priest tosses a steel chair into the ring. Priest then hits Balor with the reckoning on a steel chair. Priest sets up the chair on top of Balor and reveals that he is the one that took out Balor weeks ago, as he did it because he wants his name to live forever. Priest leaves the ring as Balor writhers in pain in the ring. I knew it. I already said a few weeks ago that the attacker was either Damian Priest, Killian Dane, or Killer Cross. So, there it was. I was right the whole time. The entire time I was right. It was Damian Priest all along, after all. All alone, it was Damian Priest. I knew it. I freaking knew it. I freaking knew it was Damian Priest. Anyways. So, they went on commercial. Then, it was back for commercial break. They head into the cruiserweight action. which happens to be the cruiserweight action that was last night. The cruiserweight action that was last night. The opponents in that match happened to be, let's see. What do you think? I mean, there's a lot of cruiserweights in WWE. Who do you think these opponents were? Well, I'll tell you what these opponents were. The opponents were Gentleman Jack Gallagher and Isaiah Swerve Scott. It was Jack Gallagher versus Isaiah Swerve Scott. And I'm just playing. I'm just kidding. So, Gentleman Jack Gallagher, as you can see, he got tattoos all over him. That's his new look that WWE claims. And then a lot of people claim that his new look looked like Conor McGregor. But let's be honest, it doesn't. So anyways, here's what happened with this match between Jack Gallagher and Isaiah Swerve Scott last night. As Isaiah Swerve Scott comes down to the ring, Tony Nese attacks him from behind out of nowhere. I seen that match. I watched it. Oh my God, Tony Nese attacked him from behind. Yeah. I get it. Why? I get why Tony Nese attacked Isaiah Swerve Scott from behind. Because he was mad because he lost to Jake Atlas. Oh, what a fucking crybaby and loser. Wow. And I guess he was mad because Isaiah Swerve Scott was talking some junk about him too. So as Isaiah Swerve Scott comes down to the ring, Tony Nese attacks him from behind. Nese takes revenge on Swerve because of his comments about failing to win a match. He got mad because he failed to win a match, which he did fail because Jake Atlas beat him fair and square. Scott gets in the corner and says that he is ready to compete. Gallagher immediately hits Scott with a running dropkick into the corner. Ooh, boo-hoo, Tony Nese, mad because you got beat by Jake Atlas. Well, too bad, freaking loser. So yeah, like I said, Gallagher immediately hits Scott with a running dropkick into the corner, and he covers Scott too. Gallagher continues to kick at Scott, but Scott continues to kick out. Gallagher locks in an abdominal stretch, but Swerve forces the break. Fighting to his feet, Gallagher takes a swing at Scott, but Scott ducks and takes Gallagher down. Scott lifts Gallagher, but his back gives out. Gallagher goes for another running dropkick to Scott in the corner, but Scott evades this one and hits a house call on Gallagher, covering him for two. Scott kicks at Gallagher's chest multiple times and runs at Gallagher, but Gallagher leaps and catches Scott in a guillotine choke. Scott fights out and picks up Gallagher. Gallagher nails Scott with a knee to the head, forcing Scott to drop him. Gallagher runs at Scott with a roundhouse elbow, covering Scott for three. For one, Tony Nese doesn't even deserve an opportunity because he's already been Cruiserweight Champion. There's no need for him, and there's most certainly no sense for him to be Cruiserweight Champion when he already is a former Cruiserweight Champion. If anything, they need to have him going for that 24/7 champion. What do they need to do with him? Instead of having him in line for an opportunity in the tournament, to win it all, to try to win the Cruiserweight Championship, which I don't think he's going to win that whole tournament. I think Isaiah Swerve Scott is going to be the one to win the whole tournament. But the favor is for Phantasma to win the tournament, because they are working on his heel turn. They are working on what could be a heel turn for him. I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm just guessing. That's in my opinion. So, it's set up next that night. Kayden Carter and Aaliyah continue their feud right after the commercial break. So, ladies and gentlemen, back from commercial break. Right after commercial break, here's what happened with the match between Kayden Carter and Aaliyah. So Aaliyah immediately hits a takedown on Carter. But Carter gets back to her feet. Carter goes for a quick submission, but Aaliyah blocks and gets to her feet. Carter covers Aaliyah, but Aaliyah kicks out. Carter hits a springboard super kick on Aaliyah, covering her for 2. Aaliyah puts Carter in a corner and kicks away at her. Then hip tosses her across the ring. Aaliyah lays into Carter in the corner. Aaliyah kicks at Carter, then chokes her on the middle rope. Robert Stone comes down to the ring and seems to be impressed by Aaliyah. Aaliyah goes to the top rope and looks at Stone, then goes to the top for a moonsault. Carter blocks it and gets Aaliyah down to the mat. Carter rolls up Aaliyah for a 2 count and gets Aaliyah in a modified figure 4, making Aaliyah tap out. So the winner was Kayden Carter. So Robert Stone looks disappointed in Aaliyah. Stone decides to walk away. Aaliyah grabs his wrist and tries to talk to him, but he removes her hand and walks to the back. So up next was Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae's promo cut from their home after the commercial break. Basically, it was a video package of Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano cutting a promo. That's basically what it was. Let's be honest. So, hang on a second. Oh, that's not right. There it is. Alright. Whoops. Alright, so back from commercial break. Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae cut a promo from their home. Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae were celebrating Johnny's victory over Dominik Dijakovic. Gargano says that if Dijakovic took Keith Lee to the limit, then Keith Lee is a joke. Gargano says that Dijakovic learned that if you speak his name, you will be punished. Candice talks about her victory over Casey Catanzaro, and how Catanzaro is an example to every woman on the NXT roster like Mia Yim, who keeps losing her opportunities that she is handed. She complains about Mia Yim, and Johnny Gargano complains about Keith Lee. They seem to set their sights on new targets. Gargano says that Lee's route of desiring fan adoration is a road that leads nowhere, and he says that he isn't strong enough to deal with that reality. Candice says that they should show people what bask in glory is really like. And that was the end of the promo. So we were told that night that next week Drake Maverick will take on Kushida, and El Hijo del Fantasma will take on Akira Tozawa. Also, Rhea Ripley will be taking on Io Shirai. Io Shirai, one of my favorite NXT female superstars. So, the main event was Matt Riddle versus Timothy Thatcher. Boy, I gotta tell you, these guys tore each other apart in the ring last night. They did not like one another anymore. This Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher rivalry seems to be taking into a whole nother level. Seems to be taking this rivalry to a whole nother level. After the match we saw, oh my god, took it to the whole nother level after the match we saw. Seemingly putting them two in the feud. So they're going to be feuding. Maybe until Pete Dunne comes back. So, here's what happened between Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher. Matt Riddle is not his usual cheerful self as he walks down to the ring, as he is forced on Thatcher. He's focused on Thatcher. So he was not his usual cheerful self. He walked down to the ring as he is focused on Thatcher. Riddle immediately lays into Thatcher, and Thatcher mounts Riddle with some strikes. Riddle gets to his feet, but Thatcher takes him down again. Riddle is able to reverse the mount and strikes at Thatcher's head and face as well. Hitting his face is even worse. But anyways, Thatcher and Riddle separate and stare each other down. Again, Thatcher and Riddle separate and stare each other down. Riddle takes down Thatcher, but Thatcher gets to his feet. I had to repeat that for those of you who probably didn't hear me. Anyways, Riddle takes down Thatcher again and strikes at his upper body. Riddle transitions to the other side of Thatcher. It locks in a double wrist lock. Thatcher rolls Riddle into the pinfall attempt, then locks in an armbar on Riddle. Riddle reverses and gets to his feet. Milling away at Thatcher, Riddle lands a big kick on Thatcher's head. So then Thatcher rolls out of the ring following that kick, and they go to a commercial break. So back from commercial break, Thatcher is in control after stomping on Riddle's feet and hitting a belly-to-belly suplex. Thatcher goes for an ankle lock, but Riddle kicks Thatcher in the head and forces a break. Riddle goes for a final flash, and Thatcher hits a German suplex. Riddle lands on his feet, hits a final flash. Riddle goes for another German suplex, but Thatcher stomps on Riddle's feet again and forces a break. Thatcher grounds Riddle and hits his midsection with some kicks. Riddle tries to log in an armbar on Thatcher, but Thatcher gets to the bottom rope, forcing a break. Thatcher goes back and on Riddle with knees to the midsection. Thatcher goes for an armbar, but Riddle rolls into it, forcing a pin attempt. Thatcher goes for an armbar again, but Riddle picks up Thatcher and hits a sit-out powerbomb on him. Thatcher and Riddle trade strikes, but Thatcher goes back to Riddle's ankle, going for an ankle lock. Riddle rolls out and kicks Thatcher away, but Thatcher comes back with a kick to the head. Riddle hits a roll to sleep on Thatcher, but both men collapse. Riddle goes to the top rope and looks for a floating roll, but Thatcher gets his knees up. Thatcher locks in a Fujiwara armbar on Riddle. Riddle rolls out and hits a powerbomb on Thatcher. Riddle goes to taunt Thatcher, but Thatcher takes advantage and goes for an armbar. Riddle escapes the armbar, but Thatcher gets in an ankle lock. Riddle gets to his feet and sits on Thatcher, pinning him for the 3 count pinfall victory. So after the match, Thatcher was not done with Riddle, though as he hits Riddle from behind, then wrenches in the Fujiwara armbar on Riddle. Riddle's tapping out, crying in pain, saying stop, but Thatcher just wrenches harder as he stares into the camera and NXT goes off air. Ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you right now, the show was brilliant. The show was incredible. I loved it. I loved the match between Isaiah Swerve Scott and Jack Albert. The match between Tony Dees and Jake Atlas was competitive. And I love how they put Tegan Knox in the match against Indy Hartwell to ultimately for Tegan Knox to pick up victory over Indy Hartwell. And I love the video packages of Karrion Kross and Scarlett. Mainly the video package of Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae. Or should I say the heel Candice LeRae. And the match between Finn Balor and Cameron Grimes was pretty interesting too. Until Velveteen Dream came in and interfered that match. Which didn't get interesting then. But what will be interesting is the rivalry. The start of a rivalry between Damian Priest and Finn Balor. That Finn Balor-Damian Priest rivalry will be good. It will be real good. And the Matt Riddle and Thatcher feud will be good too. Just like the Finn Balor and Damian Priest feud. I'm interested to see Damian Priest and Velveteen Dream feud. That's the one I'm interested in seeing. Because I'm interested to see if they're both going to showcase their ladies. You know what I mean? I'm interested to see if they're going to showcase their ladies. And see who's the better man. As far as the ladies and as far as trying to go for titles. So, this week's NXT was absolutely awesome. This week's NXT was brilliant and it was awesome. It was perfect. And just what NXT needs to shine the light on WWE on what's going on with the ratings. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. I hope you have a fantastic Thursday. Of course, I will too. So, be tuning in for my Friday Night Smackdown review tomorrow immediately right after Friday Night Smackdown goes off. So be tuning in for that. Because I will be reviewing Friday Night Smackdown after I get done watching Friday Night Smackdown tomorrow night. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of your May the 13th, 2020 NXT review. See y'all later. Thanks for watching. Be good, be safe, and please do what the government says to do, because it's very important. We want all of our people to get better. We don't want people to get sick and get viruses, because there's already been a lot of cases of viruses. There's already been numerous cases of viruses around the world. So stay 6 feet away from the people that's ill and that's got the coronavirus. Keep your hands washed. Protect yourself at all times. Have a good